Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is the new job that Patrick Grady, the ashamed ex-SNP MP, has remarkably secured. Now Patrick Grady even, is a former SNP MP. He's recently been appointed as Head of Policy and Communications for Scotland's International Development Alliance, which is a charity that receives funding through the Scottish Government. The appointment has stirred controversy due to Grady's past, where he has been found guilty of sexual misconduct involving an unwanted sexual advance towards a teenage staff member in 2016. This led to a 2-day suspension in Parliament and 6-month suspension for the SNP, after which he resumed his membership. The victim of Grady's misconduct has expressed concerns over his appointment, suggesting it sends a troubling message regarding safeguarding and accountability. Despite this, the SNP did not allow Grady to stand as a candidate at its subsequent general election, including a form of political distancing from him. These developments have been discussed in various news outlets and in social media, highlighting ongoing debates about accountability, rehabilitation and implications of such appointments in public perception of political and charitable organisations. And also, the biggest issue is cronyism. Now, although this was a bizarre one, because the incident that caused them all the trouble was back in 2016. In March 2021, Grady stood aside from his position as Chief Whip, following the SNP confirming it had received a complaint of sexual misconduct by a staff member. This in 2021. 2022, he temporarily suspended his membership and therefore was sitting for a short period as an independent MP. And he resumed his membership of the SNP Westminster Group on the 29th of December 2022 at the conclusion of a period of suspension imposed by SNP's Member Conduct Committee. In June 2022, the Commissioner for Standards concluded Grady had breached sexual misconduct policy, upholding a complaint that he had made an unwanted sexual advance to a junior member of staff. The report stated this distinction in age, status and authority between him and the respondent is obvious and forms a key aggravating factor in the case. The same month, a report to the independent expert panel published advice that Grady should be suspended from the House of Commons. On 13th of June 2022, a leaked recording from an SNP Westminster Group meeting was leaked, in which Westminster Group leader Ian Blackford, remember him, was heard demanding support for Grady over his victim. The SNP initially threatened their own MPs with legal action. Amy Callaghan, MP, was caught on audio, after which she needed to make a public apology to Grady's victim. Crazy, isn't it? And in June 2023, that's a year later, another year later, 2 years after the initial complaint, it was announced that it was reported that the victim had written to the then First Minister Humza Yousaf asking him to block Grady's SNP nomination as SNP's candidate at the next general election. Then in August 2023, it was reported that Grady was not allowed to apply for vetting as a candidate. In September, it was revealed Grady's name was not on the approved candidates list, so he was ineligible to stand. He stepped down as an MP ahead of the 2024 UK general elections, 6 months ago. Now, in October 2023, Lisa Cameron, who's an MP, she defected from the SNP to the Tories and claimed that she'd been ostracised by the SNP after claiming to have previously spoken out over the handling of misconduct by Grady. So you see what's happening here. The SNP doing what the SNP always do. They try to sweep everything under the carpet, and if you don't toe the party line, you're ostracised, just like Lisa Cameron was. How many MPs ex-MPs to be here now who have lost their seats since July 2024 tell us they were ostracised. We've seen many. We've seen Neil Hanvey tell us that, over the gender woo-woo nonsense, it just was accepting that. He was ostracised. You have Joanna Cherry telling you quite clearly been ostracised. Party members party MPs just never spoke to her for years on end because she wouldn't toe the party line with the gender woo-woo nonsense. And there's more and more coming out each and every month telling us they got ostracised if they didn't toe the party line. So your man seems to have been in the groovy gang, right? He was the party whip. He was getting support from people who wanted to support him over the victim, and caused a bit of stushy, and seems to have been stood down only because it was almost unplayable. And now, miraculously, he is the new, let me get his official title, Head of Policy and Communications. Now, if you're Head of Policy and Communications for Scotland's International Development Alliance, guess who you'll need to deal with? That's right, the SNP government. The SNP government who also fund the actual organisation that you work for. But here's something that the papers and everybody else has missed again. Patrick John Grady, born February 1980, the very same chap, is listed in Companies House, has been previously been a director of the same firm. And his appointment was from 20th of September 2012 right up to just before he got elected as an MP. So it seems like, I would love to know what he'd done there, because it seems to me that this might have been during the same time he was the advocacy manager for SCIAF, Scottish Catholic International Aid. Can't remember what the F stands for. And while he was starting his life as a SNP activist. So did he get that job originally back in September 2012? Because of what he was doing with the Scottish Government. He was an SNP member at the time, because if we go and look at his history, he worked between 2011 and 15. He worked as an advocacy manager for SCIAF, Scottish Catholic International Aid Fund, and joined the Scottish Nationalist Party in 1997. He stood at the 2010 election. In 2012, he was elected the National Secretary of the SNP, a role he held right through his re-elections until 2016. Now, isn't it bizarre then? So, as he grows up, his SNP ladder, he suddenly had this role previously with the same firm, same charity, who's funded by the SNP government. Incredible. So there we go, the gravy train continues. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and the notification button. Please give me your comments below, your opinions on the story, and most important of all, as long as you're not on this gravy train that the SNP continuously get caught out with. Not you, but
everyone else. Have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.